I'm joined by Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the Chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, John.
You're an independent voter. You're out there and you've just watched Michelle Obama.
Well, I'm not, but
I know. I'm trying to take you into a hypothetical land. Yes, you're an independent voter. You also have a leaky tub. I don't know if you knew that. What are you supposed to take away from Michelle Obama? She loves her husband, of course, but what's the political message that comes out of this?
Well, I think the First Lady spoke to the heart of every mom in America, because there is no mom in this country that could have heard her speech tonight and not thought about what she wants for her own children's future. I'm a mom too, and I know that the reason that I do the work I do every day, and the reason that I'm so proud to work to elect Barack Obama, is because I want to make sure that we can make life better for our children and the children of the families that I represent in South Florida. And so the way to do that is to make sure that we have policies that if you work hard and play by the rules, then everyone can have a chance to be successful. Not just the people who already are successful, which is Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan's focus.
If you look at this race so far, Barack Obama has a real lead over his opponent on the sort of empathy question. When you ask people who cares about you, they pick Barack Obama by a really big margin. He's got that locked up. This speech tonight sort of only seemed to lock that portion up, but isn't there something in this election that where people are saying, we really like him, we think he may think about us, but he's not getting the job done? How does she answer that critique?
I think both the First Lady and Julian Castro tonight talked about what was possible in America, and talked about and spoke to the hopes and dreams of the middle class and working families, and the opportunities that they have if we have policies in place led by a president who understands that we should invest in education, that we should invest in making sure that we have health care that ensures that that can be taken off the table and as a worry in your life, so that you can live the American dream. And that's all that any parent wants, whether you're Joaquin and Julian Castro, or Michelle and Barack Obama, or Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Steve Schultz.
Let's listen to Julian Castro. A little sound here from tonight's keynote speaker.
When it comes to getting the middle class back to work, Mitt Romney says no. When it comes to respecting women's rights, Mitt Romney says no. When it comes to letting people love who they love and marry who they want to marry, Mitt Romney says no. When it comes to expanding access to good health care, Mitt Romney actually, Mitt Romney said yes, and now he says no. Governor Romney has undergone an extreme makeover, and it ain't pretty. So here's what we're going to say to Mitt Romney in November. We're going to say no.
So a little punching there at Mitt Romney. You know, a lot of people were talking about the comparisons with Barack Obama in 2004, and that this is kind of a new, fresh face capturing the moment. But in 2004, Obama never mentioned Bush. This is a really, there's a lot of sort of pepper in here and critique of Mitt Romney. Why?
Well, each leader and each speech at a convention, I think, stands on its own. And Mayor Castro laid out not just the case for Barack Obama and why we need to make sure we reelect him president so that we can ensure we rebuild the economy from the middle class out and the bottom up and help everyone have a chance to be successful. But he also laid out the choice. And I can tell you, having served in the United States Congress since the extremists in the Tea Party took over the Republican Party, hijacked the Republican Party essentially, and have said no to every single thing, and really have made their first priority making sure that they focus on one job, Barack Obama's, rather than American jobs. I can understand that he would give a speech like that, because it's very clear that we have two paths and two visions, and Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan have a vision that says, let's go back to the failed policies of the past and let's undo all the progress that we've made, like the Affordable Care Act, which makes sure insurance companies can't drop people or deny them coverage, even though he made sure Massachusetts residents could have it.
Having an American of Mexican heritage as the keynote speaker, just talk about the politics of that for a minute.
It's not about the politics. It's about that we are a party of words and deeds. And what we see this week is the most open, accessible, inclusive convention that in political history, one that demonstrates the 800 delegates of Hispanic descent that are here on the floor, from our speakers, from the policies that President Obama has pushed through to make sure that Hispanic Americans have opportunities to be successful and live the American dream, or the show we saw last week, which was essentially a very superficial one that put some people up on a stage, but then when you look closely at the policies that matter to Hispanic Americans, investing in education, making sure that we have tax breaks for the middle class and working families, making sure that we have an immigration policy that's fair, that lets people who were brought here to this country through no fault of their own remain in the only country they've known. Hispanic Americans have a clear choice, and we've laid out that choice, and we'll continue to do that during this week.
All right, Debbie Wasserman Schultz,
Thank
thanks so
you
much for joining us.
Pleasure.